What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. We're going to be talking about what not to wear. All right, guys, let's talk about what not to wear. I talk to you all the time about what you should be wearing, but I know there's a lot of people out there with questions of like, can I wear this? Can I wear this? How does this look? How does it? Let's just jump into it so I can answer some of those questions. First of all, you do not want to be wearing any type of fashion leather. Now, I talked about this in the last video I mentioned. Fashion leather is not a good thing. Once again, it does not have... What are you doing there, buddy? Once again, it does not have the impact of... What are you doing? What the... Okay. It does not have the impact resistance that motorcycle gear has. So motorcycle gear has elbow armor, shoulder armor, possibly chest armor, back armor. That right there is designed for impact resistance. Now, fashion leather, there could be really heavy duty leathers out there. There really could be. And that might help you when it comes to abrasion resistance. So sliding across the ground, it could help you there. But the moment you impact and you start rolling and start banging your limbs and everything, good chance you're gonna have broken bones that could have been prevented. You could just have sore bones. It could have been prevented if you have some type of armor inside your gear, and regular fashion leather does not have those slots for armor. So do not wear fashion leather, and that kind of goes the same. Well, it doesn't kind of. It does go for any type of jacket, any type of clothing. You don't want to be wearing anything that's not motorcycle related just because you need to have the armor inserts. On top of that, fashion stuff is not designed, once again, for motorcycling. It's not designed for impact. It's designed to be walked around and hung out. You're supposed to hang out with that stuff. So, think about this. What about the stitching? How's the stitching? Is the stitching reinforced stitching? Is the stitching, is it really good thread? You don't know. So with motorcycle gear, there's gonna be heavier duty stitching so that when you do get into a crash, the panels that they have, you know, like let's say your arm, your sleeves and all that stuff doesn't just get ripped off in a crash. It actually stays on your body. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? All right, brain buckets. Oh, I talk about this all the time. Brain buckets and half helmets, not good, not good, not good. Always wear a full face. I'm sorry, but at minimum, guys, I think you guys should be wearing a full face. Crashes will involve your chin. That is one of the biggest impact zones on your face, on your head. You're gonna have, I think it's like 19 and 20% on something like this. I'll have a picture popping up. And it's very important to have that impact protection on your face. If you crash and hit your face, boom, you're dead. Honestly, you're gonna probably have broken teeth, broken bones. You're gonna mess up your airway, possibly asphyxiate. It's not good. It's not good. Wear full-faced helmets. I don't think there's much I need to talk about on this one. I'm gonna tell you not to wear those brain buckets or half helmets. Three-quarter helmets, no. I used to wear one, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that was a mistake. Definitely get a full face. So when it comes to helmets, you definitely want to make sure they are certified. So if you're going to get a full face helmet, just because you got a full face helmet doesn't mean that you are in the clear. You need to get yourself a full face helmet that is certified. Certification out here in the United States is Department of Transportation, or DOT. That is the minimum you can have if you're going to be riding on the roads. There's ECE, that's the European Commission, that is the standard out in Europe. And then there's Snail, which is an independent organization that tests helmets. Now, I recommend at base minimum, the bare minimum is ECE. So ECE does a better testing than DOT, and Snail does a kind of a different testing than ECE, but they're roughly about the same, and they're both really good. So at minimum, get one that says ECE on the back, and make sure you do it. Okay, so if you're gonna be getting a helmet that's not certified, it's gonna be the same exact protection as a child's bicycle helmet. It's not gonna hold up in a crash. It's gonna split right open. It's gonna fly off. Because remember, they test almost every angle on the helmet itself, and with impacts and everything. And if you're looking for a helmet and you don't know what to get, I have a link in the description. Definitely check out the HJC. It's a good helmet. It's 130 bucks right now on Amazon. It's Snail rated, so it's Snail ECE DOT rated, so it has all those ratings I just talked about. And it's 130 bucks. It's a full face helmet and it looks good. It's not one of those helmets that are like, that looks kind of dorky. Right now, as I'm talking about this, it's 130 bucks on Amazon. Check it out. I actually put that as the first comment, so that way you guys can have at least a look at what I'm talking about. Regular denim. You definitely don't want to get regular denim. Regular denim is designed just like the fashion. You do not want to ride around with regular denim because they will scrape and scratch and remove fabric immediately the moment you touch the ground. Now, guys, I don't know if you understand how quickly the asphalt can freaking grate away clothing, skin, flesh, bone. Especially when you're going any speed. Like right now, if I crash, I'm only going 15. I'm not even doing 25 that you can do in a neighborhood. I'm doing 15 to kind of just talk to you, hang out with you. And if I fall down and crash, I'm gonna really cause some abrasions on these gloves and this jacket and these pants, but it's gonna hold up because they're motorcycle jeans, motorcycle gear. If I was wearing regular gear, it would immediately go to the skin. You guys have no idea how quickly jeans could just rip apart. I mean, you could scuff up your jeans playing in the grass. So I mean, on the street, don't do it. And once again, just like the jackets, the fashion leather, the fashion anything, the stitching could be terrible. The stitching could be really bad, and the jeans will just fall apart. So if you land on the stitching portion, it'll just rip apart the whole jean and it'll fillet right open. I was gonna say, this looked like it was a good area to practice, but it's too many medians. Let's go around in circles for a little bit. So heavy duty denim, just like heavy duty leather, can offer some type of protection. But once again, if it's fashion denim, fashion leather, and all that stuff, there's no slots for impact resistant armor. There really isn't. So what you really need is to have, at minimum, if you're gonna get motorcycle gear, get something with knee armor. There's ones with hip armor. A lot of the materials that are used in motorcycle denim is that they're gonna have aramid fibers inserted into it, usually in the buttocks area, because that's where you slide a lot. And then there's gonna have reinforced stitching everywhere else. So if you're gonna get something, make sure it has some type of aramid fiber like Kevlar. There's other aramid fibers. Daniel, go ahead and take over real quick. Explain what aramid fiber is.
Yeah, so aramid fibers, it's just a heat-resistant and extremely strong synthetic fiber like Kevlar. Can't believe you couldn't say that. All right, get back to writing. I got to get back to editing.
So that's why, let's go this way. That's why you need to really get motorcycle-specific gear, okay? Woo! Neutral, still do it, common mistake. Now this is something that I see all the time, guys. I see people riding with tennis shoes. Do not ride with regular shoes. No protection, once again, zero protection. They will fly off in a crash. The only thing they do offer is that they're comfy, and that's it. Okay, so really pay attention. Another thing is that with regular shoes, you're gonna have laces. What are you gonna do when you have your laces grab the peg when you put your foot down? It's gonna pull the bike. You're gonna fall over. I see that a lot. I hear about that a lot in the comments, and so that is the new thing for 2019. But yeah, they will fly off. They'll fly off, or they'll fly off with your foot inside still if you get the impact in your ankle. They don't offer any protection. If you're looking for something that's comfortable and it still looks like a shoe, there are motorcycle shoes out there, really good looking ones. I think Speed Strength makes one. And it has D30 armor inserted. So it's gonna have some type of armor inserted. It's gonna have better stitching. It's gonna have better materials. Another thing that motorcycle shoes that regular shoes don't have is that they have like a shank. It's like this either carbon fiber or some type of material that's hard, metal or something that goes along the bottom of your shoe on the inside. You don't feel it when you're riding, but when you put pressure on the pegs, your shoe doesn't collapse underneath the pressure of the pegs. So it actually keeps your feet nice and straight. So there's some reasons why you need to get motorcycle shoes, or motorcycle boots more likely, because I got these big old boots and you want to get something that offers protection. And I wanted ankle, I wanted shin, I wanted calf protection, so I got boots. Plus they look cool. Regular work gloves. I just did a video yesterday. I did the anatomy of a motorcycle accident. I'm actually going to pop up the video right now.
Doing some wheelies. Went past 12 o'clock there.
Your brakes suck, Steve.
Your brakes suck.
Fuck.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's go back. Let's go
Your
back.
Your brakes suck, Steve.
I want you to look at his glove.
Fuck.
Look at his glove. So are these motorcycle gloves, guys?
Imagine if he had 2 seconds on the ground. He would not have pieces of his palm. So definitely don't just wear work gloves while you're riding. Get motorcycle specific gloves, guys. There is better resistance, especially if you have leather. There's knuckle protection. There's D30 armor, just like I talked about in the motorcycle shoes. And if you notice, I have extra padded, extra leather protection for the palm, just in case I put my hand down. Because when you go and you crash, you're gonna put your hand down to protect your body. That's just a natural reaction. When you do that, you start sliding. You don't want to mess up your hands. You do not want to ruin your hands, especially if you work with your hands. And imagine having 2 broken arms or 2 really badly damaged hands and you gotta wipe your butt now. That's gotta suck. Honestly, invest in a bidet. I have one, it's great. Anyways, do not use regular work gloves. There's some that are like mechanics gloves that have like this crazy armor on it. It looks really cool, might protect you. That armor is just for banging your knuckles on motor parts or whatever you're working on. It's supposed to be just for quick little issues. You know, it's not meant for like going 45 and then falling down and having it skid. It's gonna fall off. Once again, stitching is not gonna be great. This is dual layered stitched. It's really good. You definitely want to get some motorcycle gloves specifically for the gear or for the ride. There you go. You notice how during this whole thing I talked about you need to have motorcycle specific gear. One thing that happens when it comes to motorcycle specific gear is that it's expensive. It's not cheap, especially if you want to get the really good stuff. But there are some inexpensive options out there. Like I mentioned, that helmet. The helmet's an inexpensive option and it's Snail rated. You can definitely find some stuff out there and you'll be fine. And plus, on top of this, they last forever. It's not like something that you wear all day, every day, and then they disintegrate within like 4 months. No, I've had these pair of jeans for the longest time. I think I had them since 5-6 years ago, and I just barely, because I got fat, I got a hole right here. I gotta sew this hole up. But that's perfectly fine. These jeans have lasted me a very long time, and I spent, I think, maybe $200 on them, and they're well worth it. Well worth it. Same thing with gloves. You replace them roughly once a year because they get used up pretty good. Helmets, I already talked about helmets when you need to replace them roughly 5 years. Guys, these things will last you forever. It's an investment in your safety. It's an insurance policy against bodily harm and bodily damage for you. So guys, make sure you wear the appropriate gear, okay? With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I will be seeing you guys real soon.